These are not the discs you're looking for. Or maybe they are, because this is my Star Wars DVD collection. I'm going to be talking about this today. You may think this is quite a lot of discs for Star Wars, considering that there are only 6 movies, and you may be right, but all will become clear. We've also got a Star Wars themed backdrop for the video, for your viewing pleasure, you lucky people. So without much further ado, let's get going. Okay, so here we have Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. This was quite a big deal when this came out on DVD because this was the first Star Wars film to be released on DVD. George Lucas for a long time just released it on video and was like, no, I'm not releasing any Star Wars movies on DVD. I'm going to wait until all 6 movies are out and then I'm going to release them on Blu-ray. And he was going to update them again. But he decided to make a little bit more money by releasing them on DVD as well eventually. And a very good DVD it is too. Obviously the film got mixed responses from fans and critics. If you want to see what I think about it, then have a look at my 50 Reasons Why Star Wars Prequels Are Shit video. But no, I mean, in all honesty, I did enjoy it because I've always been a massive Star Wars fan. I just love watching tales from that universe, I guess, even when they're not that great. So we all know about the movie. The disc is good. It's a double disc, a whole disc full of special features, quite an interesting feature-length commentary from George Lucas and loads of other people who were involved in the making of the film. A very long documentary and loads of little webisodes, like not webisodes, but I mean like web documentaries, loads of little vignettes, so that's really interesting, and great picture and sound as well. Okay, and then we had a few years later Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, the continuation of the saga. This one was a little bit better than The Phantom Menace, I think. It certainly had less weak elements and quite a few cool ones. I thought Ewan McGregor was far better in this. Hayden Christensen was okay, and Natalie Portman was okay as well. This is very much a similar disc, same sort of layout, double disc with commentary and the same sort of number of documentaries, and I think it's a direct digital transfer because this movie was filmed digitally, so I think they can like transfer it directly across to DVD as it's a digital format, and so you get extra good picture and sound quality. Then we have Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, which I think is definitely the best of the 3 prequels, certainly the darkest. Some good performances in this from Ian McDiarmid and a little bit of Darth Vader at the end, although not very much. Special features again are pretty standard, double disc edition, yeah, that's all good. Now we get on to the Clone Wars series. There's 2 volumes of this. This is set between episodes 2 and 3 and covers the period of the Clone Wars, which you don't really see that much of in the movies. It kind of skips over them. These are really good actually. They're Western animation, but they're anime influenced, so it looks kind of a little bit Japanese as well. And the Jedis are really cool in this. They have kind of powers that you don't really see in the films, and it works really well. It's very good actually, very underrated. You should definitely check this out. The first series which is volume 1, was a series of 10-minute episodes which are kind of all edited into one feature-length movie type experience. And the second series, I believe, was a series of 20-minute or half-an-hour episodes, which again edit together into kind of a movie. And this leads right into the first scene of Episode 3, and also explains why General Grievous has a cough, which is quite cool. His chest is force crushed by Mace Windu. This is Star Wars The Clone Wars. Now this is set in the same time period as the cartoons, the traditionally animated cartoons, but this is computer generated, and it contradicts the continuity of the animated cartoons a little bit, but only in a few minor details you wouldn't really notice unless you're a really avid fan. This was actually really cool. I saw this at the cinema. I haven't yet taken it out of its cellophane on DVD. But I actually enjoyed it. It got really mixed responses, mainly negative from critics and audiences, I think, but I thought it was cool. The animation's not world standard, but it was pretty good. They kind of look like Thunderbird's puppets, so they look a little bit wooden, the character models in this, although George Lucas says that was intentional, but he also said that it was intentional to have bad writing and acting in the Star Wars films, so I don't know how much to believe from him. But it's very good, and it's been expanded into a multi-episode TV series, which is, they've released a couple of DVDs of it with a few episodes on, but I'm going to wait for the complete series to come out, I think. Okay, then we have the Star Wars trilogy, the classics, the first time they were ever released on DVD. I think they've been re-released once more since. And they're very good. There's a whole disc of bonus features, some really interesting documentaries and stuff, little bits of footage, screen tests and things that I hadn't seen before. The covers are a bit of a letdown. They're pretty poorly put together on Photoshop, I think. You're kind of thinking there'd be a super deluxe edition for DVD, but it's not great. So presumably they're going to re-release them on Blu-ray with new special effects and in the way that George Lucas does, because he's a bit of a maniac. But these had like updated special effects. As you know, these are the special editions, the 2004 special editions. I'll talk about the others in a second. With updated CGI effects, which kind of stick out like a sore thumb and displeased lots of original fans of the original movies. So I've also got the very, very first movies on DVD. These are the ones as they were released in cinemas and on video originally, with none of the added CGI effects and changed scenes and things. So before George Lucas really started to fuck about with them, I got these this set on eBay a while ago actually, and I think they're taken from a 1993 Laserdisc edition as far as I remember. So the picture and sound quality is not quite up to normal DVD standard, but it's okay, and it's nice to have as a kind of nostalgic thing, I guess, just because these are exactly how I remember the movies being when I used to watch them as a kid growing up. And then in 1998 George Lucas released his first of the special editions, in which he first started to mess around with the movies and put in extra scenes and stuff. And I got these a while ago, not on eBay actually, this is before I really got into eBay. I think I just got them on some random Chinese website, I can't remember what it was called. But again, I think these are from a later Laserdisc edition or something. And some interesting artwork on the back actually. That's actually from a kind of a kid's novel called The Glove of Darth Vader, which I remember reading years and years ago, that picture. And as far as I remember, it's pretty awful. But these are pretty good editions. I don't think there's any special features or anything, but the picture and sound quality was good for the time. I remember it being very exciting to have the Star Wars movies on DVD, because they weren't officially released. We start getting into the parodies here. This is Robot Chicken Star Wars. This is really good. Obviously, Robot Chicken is the series made by Seth Green, and there's loads and loads of little Star Wars sketches throughout the series in which he reenacts scenes with action figures and stuff. It's a bit like the Adam and Joe show used to be. I don't know if people in America know what that is, but that used to be a British TV show which is quite similar to this. But this is good. There's some funny scenes in this. Good bit of parody. Doesn't take it too seriously. George Lucas makes a little bit of an appearance, showing a rare glimpse of humour. These are the Ewoks films. These are pretty awful. These have been released officially on DVD since, but I didn't rebuy them. These are actually bootleg versions. I don't remember a great deal about them because I haven't seen them for years, apart from the fact that they were awful. If you remember the Ewoks TV series, it's a little bit like that. Bring back Star Wars. This is a British comedian called Justin Lee Collins went around trying to find the original cast of Star Wars and get them back together, and he manages to get quite a few of them together, and there's quite funny stuff. It's interesting to know that Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker, who played C-3PO and R2-D2, really hate each other and can't be in the same room as each other. But other people like Billy D. Williams is really cool, who's Lando Calrissian, and he gets to meet Carrie Fisher, which is good, and Peter Mayhew, David Prowse, who's Darth Vader, or the body of Darth Vader. And there's a picture of C-3PO with an erection, which was originally on a trading card. These are the Star Wars Holiday Specials. I've got two versions of them, so I've been trying to track down a good quality copy, and they're nowhere to be found. This was a 1978 TV special, which is absolutely awful. I'll talk about it in more depth in a future video, but it got all the original cast back because they were contracted to do it, and it was a Christmas special made for American television, and it was just cheap and horrible and involved singing, and Chewbacca's wife called Marla and his son called Lumpy, who's there. So that's pretty shocking. Hardware Wars, that's just a Star Wars parody from the 1970s. That's pretty good fun. And Star Wars, the Geordie edition. It's basically the original Star Wars film, but overdubbed with people with Geordie accents, and it's really, really funny. I can't really describe it. I'm sure I'll show a bit at some point. But this has also got loads and loads of other stuff on it, like Troops, the classics spoof, Star Wars spoof, and South Park spoof, the Muppet special, some Lego stuff, parodies, Yoda gangster rap, and loads of like little cool tiny little clips and stuff of like piss takes of Star Wars, which I enjoy. And that's about it. So until the next time, may the Force be with you. Take it easy, and I'll see you in a future video. Bye bye.